Church of Scientology, Los Angeles. Yelp reviews. Out of 32 reviews, they have a 2.8. Open from 9 a.m. This is my opinion. Child labor starts at 9 a.m. and goes to 10 p.m. $6724 Hollywood Boulevard, Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, 90028. If anyone needs to get a hold of someone in Scientology, call 323-953-3485. www.scientology-losangeles.org. Oh, you guys, we need to get this updated. Is it accessible without steps or stairs? Don't you guys wonder if that's accessible? Your trust is our priority, so businesses can't pay to alter or remove their reviews. They can get people to put false reviews in there. Hamul K. 12/26/2023. Kanye was right. Why do I gotta add more characters? Bruh, just let me post it. Whatever. How you guys doing? I don't actually understand what that means, but maybe it's a Kanye joke I don't understand. Jim F. 7 months ago. I bought the bridge from 0 to OT3. And after they had my money, they said, "You didn't buy anything. We don't owe you anything. You made a donation to the church." And $100,000 were gone. I think more people need to leave reviews, don't you guys? Honest reviews. Amy M. I disapprove of your marketing methods. And this was 2/10/2022. A young man in a dark suit was standing outside Ripley's Believe It or Not on 2/8/22, 9 p.m. You know, when children should be working, right? And saying, "Take a flyer." I thought we were taking a Ripley's coupon, but that was not the case. Stop pretending to be Ripley's employees. Or is this the only way you can get rid of Scientology flyers? I find it extremely strange that every employee that faces public is a white person. You lack diversity, not just in color, but also thought and opinion. Too judgmental of others, and also those who've left the church, if you can even call it that. Anyone want to guess how much the courses cost? How about over one's lifetime? How many working here are trying to pay off debts for these courses? There's a documented trail of unhappy customers, which isn't normal for any church organization. Amy H. 11 months ago. And you guys know. You guys know. And that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star review. You guys already know. Everything comes down to how you view yourself and your life in your own estimation. I'm just going to interject in there. And is that why you always need Scientology for everything? Inquiring minds want to know. And why would you have to pay for it? What you want. What you have an interest in. I guess that's what you guys all tell the children then, huh? What you are running into. I have never found a group of people that are 100% focused on helping you be the best version of yourself. It really is that simple. You know, she's only been in for like a day, right? Anna Z. Hold on, let me see. Anna Z. Oh, isn't that interesting? Anna Z only has one review. If she's a real person. So that is a 1, 2, 3, a 4-star dated 3/20/2020. The staff is what really has me coming back. This location, 6724 Hollywood Boulevard, you know where I read about the assault earlier, Los Angeles, has a great set of people. They are wonderful, knowledgeable, and always working hard. You guys, does this sound like a success story? I know how hard it can get sometimes, but let me tell you, this staff is the best. I have completed the Personal Efficiency Seminar, giving me the confidence and the ability to execute on things. It's helped me in my life. A complete game changer. Because you know you can't do it on your own, right? Everyone learns at different licks in diverse manners. Each individual is unique. We all have a different experience. One thing for sure is that the traditional approach of teaching or mentoring leaves little room for independent thoughts. Imagine this, you guys. Or students initiate questions. Students are expected to accept what the professor says to be true. This is a memorization and not learning. I'm extremely grateful for everything in life. My learning experience has given me value and structure in my life. Thank you to Will, Karina, Oscar, and Kevin. Supervisor Zarek Ayagzagorita Gaitia is a huge asset. Thank you for everything. Learning and experience go hand in hand. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Nobody found it helpful. Nobody said thanks. Nobody loved it. And nobody said, oh no. Weird, huh? Jim F., 7 months ago, 1 star. I had bought the bridge from 0 to OTQ3, and after they had my money, they said, you didn't buy anything. I already read this. Phyllis F., 11 months ago, wonderful and very helpful. A great place to find out more about yourself and address the problems of life. Dated 1/17/2024. Sebastian, 1 star. This is a cult. If you hate your family a lot and never want to see them again and want to work for 110 hours a week with a $47 a week allowance and want to sleep with other people in bunk beds, this is a place for you, but I do not recommend. Steph G., dated 12/26/2023, 1 star. Not even 1 star worthy. This cult is not a church. It's a money scam from hell, a true prison that doesn't allow their inmates to have contact with their families. Watch Streets LA on YouTube to see how people are taking this cult down. Jose G., dated 12/13/2023, 1 star. No. I went trying to teach them about the Catholic Church, and they kicked me out once they seen I didn't let them speak. I was speaking over them, trying to teach them about how the Catholic Church is the true church, and they kicked me out right away. The anger in their face when I walked in with the Bible was priceless. Serena P., dated 5/20/2023, 1 star. Was convinced into watching a 20-minute true story about the making of a book. The movie was over 30 minutes and the lady came in the room and tried to sell us a $40 book that is free online. And when we politely declined, she tried to guilt trip us, basically saying we are ruining our lives and this $40 book would fix it. And when we tried to keep walking, she kept arguing with us and asked why were we offended by the movie. The movie just explained how popular the book was and said nothing about the actual book. Side note, when trying to sell us the book, she just put it in our hands and said, "This is $40. Would you like to pay cash or card?" And when my boyfriend got up to leave, she tried to make him sit back down. 14 people found this helpful. 7 said thank you. 4 loved it. And 3 said, oh no. Nayeli C., dated 2/5/2024. 5 stars. Staff is very welcoming, respectful, and helpful. In my mind, I'm wondering, does that include the children who are staff? They take time out of their day, the 18, 24-hour days, to connect with you, which makes going to courses even more fun. They deal with unnecessary harassment almost daily, very humbly, which is not something everybody can do. Let's see how many people found it helpful. 0 people found this helpful. 0 people said thanks. 0 people love this. And 9 people said, oh no. Amber G., dated 4/23/2023. 1 star. I was on vacation with some friends, and we were walking up and down the Hollywood Strip, checking out the local shops. Next thing I know, someone in my group got persuaded into stopping inside for a free IQ test, aptitude test, and some other kind of test. Not being from the area, and not for nothing, but not the greatest part of town either. We stuck together and all went inside. We were promised that the test was free and we could leave afterwards. It was only supposed to be an hour at most. Well, that hour turned into a whole 8-hour day. Isn't that false imprisonment? And they refused to let us leave until we joined and bought stuff. This place is a scam and an evil cult. They get you in with free tests and screw with the results to try and persuade you to join. They also guilt trip you and say really messed up things too, like, I got a text and I just went to check it for a few seconds. And the lady got mad at me for it and was like, we aren't here for you to check your texts. That stuff isn't important. Type thing. If you walk in with a group of people, they will separate you and refuse to let you guys even talk or be together. See isolation. Just keep walking. Cross the street, do whatever you can to avoid this place and these people. Heed my warning, trust me. It's a scam and a cult. My group and I still feel weird after our trip because of that interaction with them. 16 people found this helpful. 7 people said thanks. 5 said love this. And 2 said, oh no. Crystal O., dated 9/24/2023. You guys, it's 5 stars. Came in before closing, staff was friendly. Like everyone talks like that, right? They did not push you to buy anything you didn't want. The tests were time-consuming and informative. You are able to have an informative conversation with staff. Like all the public people talk like that, right? About the controversy. And I left with a book about how to better your mental critic. 1 person found it helpful. 1 person said thanks. 3 people love this. And 43 people said, oh no. (1/25/2024) Vin H. 1 star. I went there about a month and a half ago on a cold day. I was invited because a recruiter, who was very tall and odd-looking, approached me on the street. His pupils were dilated, and he talked in a robotic tone. I was just visiting LA, so I decided to follow him. I'd heard about the church online, some, and everything was negative. People say Scientologists are scammers and liars, and so I wanted to just see what all the fuss was about. I follow a couple TikTok pages who often protest against the church, mainly because I find their videos funny and interesting. I, honest to God, just had the intention in mind of seeing what the place truly says to you when you're invited in, so I followed the man. I do not want to harass anyone, so I won't use his true name or even nickname, but I'm sure you can figure out who this was. The tall blonde guy. He invited me to sit in a small waiting room on a red-stained couch. Everything looked fairly expensive except for the couch, although this is probably due to the fact that they all need to pay their workers. Is $50 a week, so they have room to buy fancy furnishes, obviously except for that ratty blank couch. Anyways, I sat down with the man and he told me that firstly, I needed to tell him about my life, like career, social life, etc. I obviously am not that dumb, so I faked the whole thing, but he essentially told me that I needed to repent for being a nail salon owner. Which is not true, by the way, and I laughed at him. Everything I made up was somehow something that needed to be fixed. Even the fact that I apparently owned 2 Dalmatians. He told me that in Scientology, owning pets is controversial. This is quite possibly the strangest person I've ever met. He was attractive, though, so I see why they put him out there. Most of the recruiters are attractive, like the smiling Hispanic guy, who is way too friendly, and the one security guard who is extremely rude and sassy. It was a shock meeting all of them because, truthfully, I only came for TikTok. But regardless, it was interesting to see how much they think their manipulation tactics will work when all of them are just flat out ridiculous. Maybe an older person of someone on substances would fall for it, but I'm a teenager and I'm not that dumb. Anyways, that was a tall one. He was weird, but not as weird as a security guard. The calculator boy. He was the weirdest. He told me that the protesters I follow were shit talkers, and that I should follow the Scientology YouTube channel instead. And when I asked why he was cussing at the door, he rolled his eyes and said because he was Scientology's favorite guard and member of the church. He was kind of cute, but just so rude. Anyways, don't go here, they legit suck. The only friendly one was the one that did not speak. He patted me on the back and had a nice smile, so only go there for Corset's king. 7 people found this helpful, 3 thanked this person, 4 loved it, and 0 said oh no. Win P, dated 2/3/2023. 2 stars. I went here and L. Ron Hubbard personally gave me a hamburger from the afterlife, and it wasn't even good. I think he just warmed up a McDonald's burger in the microwave for a few seconds too long. So I told him I didn't like it, and he said he knew I would say that because he wrote about it in a book, and then gave me the book. So I opened the book and read it right there in front of him, and there wasn't a single mention of myself or the hamburger, and the book was like maybe 2 out of 5 stars. Then I said goodbye, and he said I owed him $5 for the hamburger, but he settled for $2.25. That's funny. Dated 11/10/2022. Isabella M. 1 star. If I could give it 0 stars, I would. Some people from the information center were standing outside the Guinness Museum of World Records, handing out flyers and approaching really quickly, not giving us an opportunity to say no. They convinced us to walk over, saying that the personality test was going to be quick. We had already explained to them that we were on a time crunch, and yet got sucked in for 3+ hours taking a test and going over results to ultimately be manipulated into buying a $50 book. Avoid this place at all costs. It's like a black hole of time and money. And we walked out of there going, WTF, did we just do? Dated 8/26/2019 from Marion J. Marion. 5-star. The church, a cult? Oh, what a lie. Seriously, don't believe such crap. The Church of Scientology has done a lot of good in the world. The info is all online and offline. People harm themselves making wrong decisions in their life. Could she be talking about all the people that took their own lives? Deaths? Deaths and bluicides caused by their own personal actions, such as addictions and wrong choices in life. The people in the church, from personal experience, were very nice to me. One found it helpful, one loved this, and 7 said, oh no. Jean D., dated 3/17/2015, 5 stars, and they included pictures. There was a time when I was not so happy with my life. Pretty certain I was not ever going to get what I knew I wanted. What was controlling my mind? Was there really more to me than flesh and bones? Or did I have a mind and a body? And I was a spiritual being. I now have found answers. Scientology is the study of life. This information center is here to answer such questions. Great staff, nice service and manners, beautiful building, safe space. Recently reopened at 6724 Hollywood Boulevard, down the street from Hollywood and Highland. Five people found this helpful. 0 thanked her. 6 loved this. And 24 said, oh no. Kasim J. Interesting name. April 2nd, 2020. 5 stars. I love this place. I stumbled upon it 10 years ago, and since have been basing my life around coming back. It's incredible and has seriously helped me in ways that would make anyone who's sucking just mad lots of laugh. I couldn't express how much this place has helped me in every aspect of my life and continue till this day. If you're not a sucky person and believe in your potential, go check these guys out. Or if you have questions, ask for me. I'm always there doing services when I'm in LA. It's good sometimes to hear from someone who's not working there and has used the tools to help straight crush it in life. Ha ha ha. Love you guys. Ryan P., dated 8/8/2016, 5 stars. This is really an upscale information center. They are always available, that's how trafficking works, to help you find the answers you're looking for. Scientology staff here are impeccable. Their uniforms are pristine. The presentation is very on point, and they are definitely true to their purpose. Los Angeles, it's definitely where Scientology belongs. Thank you for assisting me in finding the answers I needed. I will be bringing my friends. Nidhi S. Dated 4/20/2015. 1 star. I am writing this review for all those who might be lured into joining their paid courses. While I did not take the courses myself, the forced salesmanship of their staff was enough evidence of this sham. I stopped by the center with my sister and a friend. While walking past, we had never been to a Scientology church before and wanted to know more. Now we do, and it's pure science fiction and a facade of life improvement techniques. The building is well funded and well staffed. The sales pitch is aggressive. The aptitude and attitude of the technical staff is extremely poor. What drove me to write this review was this one particular salesman who, after talking to my sister, came up to me and blatantly lied that she wanted to join their course. He insisted that I had to pay right at that moment, or my sister's life was effed, in his words. He also mentioned that he is smarter than me, has more perspective, and I should listen to him. When I told him politely still that I would get back to him after talking to my sister about her plans, he called me a liar. I just walked away. My sister had obviously not shown any interest in the course and was amazed by this guy's balls. The whole place is designed to make money by aggressive means with no real principles. 27 found this helpful, 5 thanked her, 11 loved this, and 1 said, "Oh no." Dated 2/18/2018. Juliana L. 5 stars. This is an amazing place, with the sanest people I've ever seen working there and coming for services. I found for myself the simplest truths about myself and others, which I was never able to see before. Helped me in my career, my marriage, and life in general. Very thankful. 1 found it helpful, 0 thanked her, 1 loved it, 13 said, "Oh no." Jazzy W. Dated 3/23/2019. 1 star. I'm so interested in learning more. I want to know what Scientology is all about. Started asking questions. Asked what creation myths Scientologists believe. The lady told me to buy one of their books 3 times. Instead of answering, I kept saying, "Can you just tell me?" Nope. I had to buy the book. Cult scammers and idiots. So sad they get away with this tax-free fraud. Helpful for 10 people. 3 said thanks. 8 loved it. 0 said oh no. Rosalie R. Dated 2/27/2018. 5 stars. Boy, you can find the answers to questions you've been asking yourself for your whole life. You know, the kind that nobody can answer for you. Like, why am I here? What's life all about anyway? And they don't tell you what to think. It's a path of self-discovery. Love it. 1 loved it. 12 said, oh no. Dated 1/16/2016. Tiffany W. 2 stars. My boyfriend made us stop in this place as I was trying to walk past. They told us we were taking a free personality test, an IQ test for free. We answered the 200-question test. I was ready to go, but of course, since nothing is free, they tried to sell us their course, which is apparently supposed to change my entire life, because if I didn't buy anything right there, I was going to spiral out of control. The course I was offered was $50 for 2.5 hours. I just want the personality test. I wasn't there to buy a course or a class. When I declined, I spent an additional 20 minutes explaining why I declined and how I'm ruining my own life. 19 found it helpful, 2 said thanks, 9 loved it, and 1 said, oh no. Shelby G., dated 12/28/2017, 1 star. If anything, this is a place to get bullied for not wanting to waste hard-earned money on useless items. While walking down Hollywood Boulevard, I was doing the typical ignore or no thanks to flyers, but I had a friend with me who, first, has never been to anywhere like Hollywood Boulevard, and second, is super polite, so she was overwhelmed with people trying to sell her things. Comes time for the Scientologists to make their pitch with the free personality test. I said a polite no thank you, but my friend had a flyer stuffed into her hand as they blocked off her path. The people were pretty nice, and I wasn't opposed to sitting down to take a simple personality test. Man, was I wrong. We were taken into a super fancy building where we then took a 200-question IQ personality test, which I already knew would tell me I was all kinds of messed up. After the process, I had someone read the charts to me, which I could have read just fine, and then I was taken to a salesman. Not only was he extremely pushy in trying to get me to buy the product, but he also said rude things such as, so you're saying you either don't understand or you're just not willing to help yourself. That's a gaslight. With my friend, her salesman said things like, you're a Ferrari that's driving at 20 miles per hour, and couldn't seem to get much more than 2 words out of his mouth without a cuss word. I tried to politely turn down everything that was offered, until the guy said that my reasons for not buying anything were stupid. If they want people to join them, maybe they should take their own advice and work on some of their faults. 11 found it helpful, 1 said thanks, 3 loved it, and 1 said oh no. Vince C., dated 2/28/2012, 5 stars. Never native English speakers. I've been in here once or twice, and both times have had my questions answered very swiftly. Swiftly, everyone. The staff are extremely understanding, and the place has a very chill, down-to-earth vibe about it. Thomas B., dated 5/28/2015, 5 stars. Don't you guys wonder if they're still in? The best thing that ever happened to me in this life was finding out about the Church of Scientology. I have been helped in so many ways by my experiences with this incredible church, and even more important, I have seen many others helped. It has been more than 42 years since I first walked into the church, and I have enjoyed every minute of my experience since. I recommend that everyone should look for themselves and see if it would be a good thing for you. You cannot make someone be a Scientologist, as each individual needs to decide for themselves. All the best to you. 2 people found this helpful, 3 loved it, and 6 said, oh no. Wonder if this guy was on the Apollo, don't you guys? There sure were a lot of sexual assaults. Liz M., dated 12/11/2015, 1 star. I honestly cannot believe the amount of positive reviews on this. Which, because she doesn't know. I visited the center in August while on holiday with a few friends, and they were offering free personality and IQ tests, which I had never done before. From the second we walked in, we were asked to say what we thought was wrong with us and wanted to change. It's a 1 star, by the way. Well, one of my friends said that she couldn't really think of anything. They told her there must be something, making us feel quite uncomfortable. We then moved on to the personality test, which was about 200 multi-choice questions. A number of them were repeated, and a number of them simply did not make sense, which the woman working there ignored when I mentioned it. They clearly do this to manipulate your results. After taking this and the IQ test, they bring you into a private area to discuss the results. The staff have clearly been trained to stare as the person I spoke to did not stop an intense look the whole time. I was there and it was quite creepy. He told me things like I wasn't confident or motivated, and when I tried to disagree, he just spoke over me, showing me more results. After about 10 minutes, when he finally realized that I was not falling for the scam, he had one more attempt to sell me lectures and books, to which I turned down too. The whole experience was uncomfortable, and it is nothing but a money-making scam, trying to brainwash people into thinking that they have problems. Stay away. 4 people found this helpful, 0 thanked him, 0 loved it, and 0 said, oh no. Cami B., dated 2/21/2018, 1 star. My Spanish is decent. No me gustó para nada el trato de las personas que están atiendo y me parecía una pérdida de tiempo malísimo. I just understand some of it, it's no good. The people trying to make you buy something. Anyways, I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.